January 13th, 2024, Technologist Forum. We are here. We are going to talk about all things, well, many things, CES. We are going to talk about what happened in Atlanta with their Black Ecosystem Summit, talking about representation within the African American community as it relates to technology, as it relates to culture, things like that. And we are just going to talk to you. So let's go ahead and get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, oh, we got TBJ up there. Oh, we got to start with that because he gonna flex on y'all like that. No, you know,
TBJ in the building.
Oh, what?
Everybody, how y'all doing? Y'all doing all right? Fresh off of CES. What's happening? Tallboy's back. What's happening, everybody?
See, so hold on. So I was wondering why he was pressing a whole bunch of buttons and he wasn't talking during the pre-show. I knew it had to be some sense of madness that TBJ was into. I don't even know how to reference you. I don't even know how to reference you. Oh my God.
TBJ in the building. What's up, senior? How you doing, senior? You doing okay?
Hey, Dad. If you want to come over and watch some of the games, come on over, man. Just roll through. I'm just gonna be sitting here. I know it's raining. Come on over and watch the games. That was okay. A little sidebar. East Coast people, talk to me now. It's still early for me. I know y'all want to get your day started. Let me start with. I got to start with the cartoon character because he's just and if you don't mind, TBJ, can you take your rolling ticker down this little?
We working on it. We working on it. We working on it. Yeah.
That's why you pushing all those buttons. You trying to.
That's how he rolled with Don Lemon, I guess.
Okay. Don Lemon. Yeah, and his new thing. I'll tell you what, let's start with you then while he's doing that, Mr. Strong. Talk to us a little bit about your week in terms of what you have maybe seen in terms of technology. Anything in the news, anything in your toolkit that you've been working on from a technology perspective?
Well, what did I experience this week, which what we call win of the week at my place of employment that we encourage every employer to do when they have their teams meeting with their team to have what's called a win of the week. So what is my win of the week in technology? Well, I would definitely say the information that I learned from CES with Mr. Tallboy there. He was interviewing a gentleman that was highlighting a particular product that helped to deal with Tallboy. What was the medical condition again?
Parkinson's or tremors.
Tremors. Okay. And the gentleman gave a very informative presentation in how they can help individuals with Parkinson and tremors. So that was definitely insightful. And then the gentleman that you have from LG, I believe, with the new televisions, in terms of them having those rolling out in just, I guess, a matter of just a year or so where you could see that. So the whole CES, that was my first time online and experiencing it, and some of the guests that he had took a lot from that. In terms of myself, technology-wise, just really set a goal to try to get at least 5 new videos recorded. We got 2 more to do this before this weekend is out, so I can have those ready for February. So that was pretty much my win of the week in experiencing and from a technology standpoint.
I love that. So 2 things, and Tallboy, we're going to get into it right now. But Walter, I want to come back to that mindset right there eventually before the end of the show about setting yourself up for success and pre-recording and kind of batching content so you don't get behind the curve when it comes to putting stuff out to your community. But let's go ahead and start with the CES thing, man, since you touched on it. And shouts out to you watching some of the Tallboy experience, the Lab Tech show. And you're right, there was some.
It was an experience, though.
Yes, it was an experience. There's a backstory to that too. We're gonna get into that.
But TBJ was not out there, but Tallboy was there. But Tallboy told TBJ some things, and I think he's ready with you, James. I think he's ready to rock out with you.
All right, I tell you, let me set it up, and then I'll let you bring it in. So yes, we went to the Consumer Electronics Show. This was my 12th. This was Tallboy, that I believe his 13th. But at the end of the day, it was all about technology and how it relates to a consumer perspective. It was every brand, every manufacturer who was worth anything globally was there, right? So common theme this year was around AI and how artificial intelligence is working its way into our everyday lives. It's not just business. But again, you think about what Samsung is doing, what LG is doing, what Sony is doing by bringing artificial intelligence into the home. Washers and dryers are smart. They're talking to the refrigerator. They're talking to the robot lawnmower and the robot pool suite, right? So all those things. Connected health was huge. So shouts out to our team, or a brand that I work with, Withings. Tallboy works with them as well, right? They sent me their new, what is it? Their body scan scale. I'm looking at it right here. But so those kinds of things, right? Being able to proactively watch and monitor your health. So you actually know ahead of time when something's going on with you, that you may need to address that with your physician, and it ties in securely to those physicians and things of that. AR and VR was huge. So Apple's announcing and going to put out their $3,500 goggles next month. But I was walking around rocking my Ray-Ban Meta glasses, live streaming sessions and taking photos and videos wearing my glasses. So I'm already there with that technology. It's just getting better and it's just getting more intuitive. I'm going to talk around some other things, especially those transparent TVs. Hey, Tallboy, I texted my wife and said, I'm going to get one of them 98-inch transparent TVs before the end of this year. My birthday present in October is going to be one of them 98-inch TVs. I didn't get any pushback.
He claiming it. That's what I'm talking about. He claiming it.
I was a few hundred miles away, so she couldn't throw a shoe at me. But I said I'm going to get one of them TVs. Talk to us a little bit about your experience walking around CES.
It was a good experience, and the cool thing about it is a lot. Well, I'm not going to say the cool thing. The bad thing is it's a lot of walking. But when you're walking, you have to understand that you're looking to find and identify products that make sense. And when you find those products that make sense, that are more practical. And we found from a whole gamut, from whether you're into content creation, whether you're a family looking to say, hey, we have these baby bottle monitors. If you're looking for internet on the go, so you're traveling from the United States, from Florida all the way to California, they have internet that will be releasing next year in America, but it's available now in Europe, to where you could be in the mountains, the desert, in the country, and it will still provide you 500 megs down, 300 megs up. So that means you can live stream from the car with this company by the name of Stellar. They also had, so I was in Eureka Park most of my time, right?
Explain that, because you're talking insider right there. A lot of folks may not understand what Eureka Park is.
All right, so you have the main area where all the major companies are there, like the Samsungs, the Sonys, the J5 Creates, the LGs. They're all over at the main hall, and the main hall is Central Hall. But then if you go over to the Venetian Expo, they have an area where it's called Startup Village, and it's called Eureka Park. And this is where you get a chance to meet all the companies that are either startups or they're having concepts. You have all the educational tech and also the different countries who are basically saying, hey, we are from Singapore, we're from Germany, we're from France, we're from Spain, or whatever respective country that they're in. And they come here and say, these are our concepts and we're bringing these to life, or they're already been launched or released. So this is where Tallboy finds his space and say, these are the companies that we're trying to identify with for the Lab Tech Show. And so for me, that's a convention center in itself. And then where James was at primarily is at the main convention center. So I'm where the startups are, where the concepts are. And then James is over where the major companies are, where, they're saying this is what we're releasing. Now, don't get me wrong. I had a chance to go over there and also go to North Hall, but then they have another hall called West Hall where all the vehicles are. So I don't know if James made it over there or not, But I was primarily over in Startup Village trying to identify companies that made sense. And then we just kind of go from there. And then then you get invited to private parties. And then that's where you get a chance
watch
to...
yourself. Don't get into the private parties. Come on. We
I
talk
just
about that
said,
offline.
you said you go to the private parties and you get a chance to meet and identify companies who have either said, I'm willing to pay a premium to get in front of media members themselves. And I can pitch to them our product without having to go through the fluff of dealing with industry affiliates, buyers. We just want someone to cover our product. So I think there was a company by the name of Clicks, which I am team Android, but if you're on iOS, you may want to look up this company called Clicks because it's the BlackBerry for iPhone. And they literally went from 0 followers to 10,000 followers overnight because it now has that raised keyboard that you can type as if it was a BlackBerry function, but it's a case that you put your iPhone in. And then when you want your regular iPhone, you take it out the case and then you go on about your business. And they literally were one of the top products that I saw on multiple publications throughout the week. So being at those parties was something different. It was, you're able to identify with these companies who pay that premium, and they know, or once they feel comfortable with you, they don't mind, saying, hey, how can we send a unit to you for you to review? Or, maybe you build a relationship with them throughout the year. Right before I left on Thursday night, ShiftCam, James decided to go mobile. And Tallboy went out with the camera, so I came out with all the equipment, light, microphone, wireless mics, camera, monopod. James said that he's coming out with all mobile devices, and he would have to explain it to you a little bit better. But I met this company called ShiftCam, the unit that he was using to make his project work, to make his content work for him. As I was leaving, ShiftCam saw me at one of the private parties. One of their members hawked me down and said, hey, before you leave, I want you to see one of the new accessories that we have. And so she was really impressed with, just say, hey, do you mind, can I show you what this bag is, what it does? And for James, you having mobile accessories, you just throw all your stuff in a duffel bag. Well, with ShiftCam, with their new feature or their new bag, you put the accessories in the bag, and then there's a handle or a strap that you lift up. So now you can put your phone, your AirPods, you can put your lenses, you can put your cords, and you can lift it up, and it's easy access as opposed to digging in the bag. You put it in a respective compartment, and then it's all there accessible for you. And then you can literally slide the bag on the other side of your body, and you can literally be recording from a first person point of view. So instead of James recording from his glasses, he can be recording because the ShiftCam can with the magnetic is it MagSafe? Am I saying that right? Or the magnetic part?
MagSafe.
Yeah, with
ahead,
that
brother.
MagSafe.
You want to roll? Keep going. I'll let you take a breath in a minute.
It connects. So all those accessories that James has, they would have a specified compartment, and he takes that strap, lift it up, and then he has easy access as opposed to digging in that bag. And then he's like, well, where's my AirPods? Where's my charger? Where's my gimbal? Where's whatever it is that I'm looking for? He can just find the respective compartment, lift up the strap, and he has easy access, and he doesn't have to go digging. And then if he wants to record, he can record on his bag because he has that MagSafe technology built into the bag. So that to me, I thought that was very impressive. And they actually hawked me down right before I left and said, hey, we want to show you this bag. We met you at this event. Come, let me show it to you. So I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah.
Awesome.
Is that when they turned you into a cartoon?
That's pretty much what.
No, TBJ was born December 14th, my brother. We are a Sagittarius.
I love it. I appreciate that, man. I'm gonna let you take a breath because you went through the whole thing.
I just only highlighted 3 companies.
I did. Because you probably got some contracts with them. That's why you wanted to highlight a couple of companies. Let me go back to these comments because there was a couple of things while you were talking. And shouts out to you. We see you, Victor, man. You're talking about mobile. And on-the-go live streaming. Yeah, that technology is out, man. So the Ray-Ban Metas is what I was using. So I was in the room sitting literally 20 feet or so. Well, probably 30 feet because he had security with him, but sitting 30 feet away from Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man. The
Oh,
night
Iron Man.
after, after the, what was it, the Golden Globes, where he won some trophies.
Yes.
And he was in there with a couple of other cats talking about internet security, mobile security, and making sure that your personal information isn't compromised when we're out here on the internet. So he's invested in an organization that's doing that. So I was live streaming to Instagram the entire keynote that Robert Downey Jr. and his other two founders of the company did. My entire time, I was walking around with the glasses, capturing photos, capturing videos, and doing the thing. My main camera for the entire time was my DJI Osmo 3. That's all I had. And when I walked up to Tallboy and showed him that this is all I got, I didn't bring any full frame cameras. I didn't bring any 20 by 20 to 70 millimeter lenses. I didn't bring any big zoom lenses. That was all I brought because I figured I could do what I needed to do in post-production that I can get from those large lenses as well. And listen, walking around that entire strip, 3 miles of Las Vegas downtown with 30, 40, maybe even 50 pounds of weight on your back. I've done it before, and it's not a good feel. It's not a good look, and the feet hurt. So this right here was my entire tech stack that I took with me. The, again, most used piece was my Ray-Ban Meta glasses. My Remarkable 2 tablet was actually impressively very convenient as well. So I would be during the sessions, I'd be taking notes with that digital and automatically transfer up to the cloud. So going light. I didn't even use my tripod there, even though I got the Ulanzi carbon fiber tripod, with very light as well. But so next year, so I'm saying all this up front, saying next year I'm gonna even be lighter. I'm not even gonna take that. I'm gonna get another camera. I know what camera I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get the RX100. Is the RX100 or the RV100? Sony's RV100, right? The very small compact one, about the same size as a ZV-E1. That does have a zoom lens on it, but very small, very compact, with just something like a switch pod. Walk around, boom, get my content, and also my Meta glasses. But yeah, it was dope. It was dope. Mobile internet, live streaming, mobile internet connectivity with Wi-Fi. So that's going to be a huge thing. There's always been a problem with connectivity in those large conference areas, right? You feel like you're in a fallout shelter. For anyone who's old enough to remember what a fallout shelter is, but just can't connect properly. So we're walking around with hotspots. We're walking around tethering off of our phones. So being able to use some technology that we can walk around and mobily have live streaming capability is going to be huge for not just this conference, but for anything else as well. Yeah. Kevin Cox, see you in the building, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, that mobile internet would be fire from Mobile Live Studios. There it is right there, man. Just being able to walk around and capture that information. Let me see if I can find some other pictures. I don't have any compromising pictures this year, man. But they turned your boy into a hologram. Come on.
Yeah, I saw that.
Listen, they turned your boy into a hologram. So, I mean, that was dope just to have that capability. Turn me into the old Tupac hologram.
At first, I really thought you were in a box. It's like, okay, what's going to happen next?
But that's where it's going, right? So, and literally after this conversation, after I got through with this interview that you see right here, I went around front. They live piped in someone who was in New Zealand or the Netherlands, right? It was 3:00 in the morning in the Netherlands, and I did an interview. He was in that box. I was standing on the outside there. So being able to have remote live 3D types of conversations with folks, I mean, that kind of technology. So distance is becoming irrelevant. Being able to communicate with folks and maybe getting this technology in someone's home office, in someone's workplace of business. Pricing is still out of range, I think, for a majority of folks. But again, just the thought that this technology is now available, right?
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, James. So what I'm looking at, and I do recall seeing this on Instagram last week, but what you're kind of, what I'm seeing for the second time, is this the next step or evolution that sometimes with news or weather channels will use, where they'll create a virtual environment of a city or a town and show you what the weather conditions could be in that city or town? Is that basically the next step of that, what say the Weather Channel uses?
I would hope so, right? Because I really, so his is personal, and you guys chime in as well. I don't like the fact that the Weather Channel folks are actually literally out there in the eye of the storm and getting pummeled by the elements when they're out there doing it. It would be right putting themselves in risk and a danger. So this could work, right? You saw the white background from where I was standing. They just did a green screen and had like a webcam or have a video projected onto that green screen that would allow that weather reporter, that news reporter, to be in a safe studio somewhere and then have that environment behind them, kind of like they do with the regular weather today. But I think you're right. It's going to be more of I can be anywhere at any time and I can project an image around me and I can instruct, I can teach, I can explain, and I can display without again having to have that expensive travel. Think about when the world stopped for Zoom.
Let me clarify. I mean, they are doing that. Like they just we had a demonstration on tornadoes at night and went through the whole thing of why tornadoes primarily pop more in the South than more in our area of the woods during the time of the year, why they're considered nocturnal. And they literally went through a whole scenario of a tornado happening, but it was virtual. They were in the studio. And they were just kind of showing you the steps of how the tornado. So when I saw your presentation there, it was like I'm thinking about what they do in showing a tornado or a hurricane or a severe weather storm, but they're in the studio the entire time. But they're showing you what we may see on television, or like you say, what they may see being in the middle of the actual storm itself. So
I would say the technology is there, but this wasn't necessarily a conference for that. I would say something like NAB, the National Association of Broadcasters. That's actually, I believe, in March, April. I got my tickets. Let me know if you go on, Top Boy. But NAB would be the conference for that, right? Higher end compute, higher end video, higher end audio, tough ready, weather resistant things of that nature. And that type of a conference is going to happen in March, April timeframe back in Vegas. So we'll see how that works out. But that's a great question, man. Let me bring this up here. Victor's talking about my trip to the Philippines. I'm taking all NDI cameras, 3 Mevo starts and Osbot tail air. I'm the opposite, taking more, not less, plus my own routers. But see, you are a unicorn, though, Victor, right? You were the first person I ever saw to live stream while he was driving.
April 13th through the 17th is NAB.
Gotcha. Yeah,
I'm even seeing that hologram featured, like just thinking about like concerts. Like we've seen like Amazon doing the live stream concerts. We've seen Travis Scott in the metaverse, a whole bunch of people doing that. But just imagine imagine like Versus, the thing that popped off of Instagram Live as a hologram that we just all have access to. Like that'd be wow.
Technology is there. I put this picture on the screen for my football fans. Y'all see I was in the room with Hall of Famer. Come on. So this was the night of the national championship game. Mr. Woodson was in the room with the rest of the panel, Krista Thompson, TCL, the rest of the ESPN squad there. But I was in the room with my man Woodson right there. The night of the game. So shout out to Michigan too for winning the game.
Yes, sir.
Talk about, keep talking, man. I'm just gonna scroll through some of these pictures and let folks see what we experienced. Sony brought out their car again, the Afeela. We saw that last year, but now we know that it's in conjunction with Honda. So if Sony is really going into the driving experience as an experience, not just as a task, and they literally they brought the car out. I don't even know if I got it on film, but they brought the car out as a prototype, as a use case, using a PlayStation controller.
Wow.
So, Tesla has the summon, and I can do that with my mobile app and all, but for them to be Sony and for them to bring out a vehicle using a PlayStation controller really got the oohs and ahs from everybody. And again, that's just where it is right now. That's where the technology is capable. I doubt they'll release that piece to the consumer of being able to drive your car with a PlayStation controller.
Take Grand Theft Auto to a whole new level.
Right? That would be crazy. That would be crazy.
It would be. It would be.
Shout out to Stephanie Garcia, her and Brandon. I got to hang out with them for a while as well. But yeah, man, it was off the hook. It was good. That's let me see. The food. Okay, I'm not even going to the food. The food was crazy. Ate like it was nobody's business. All right.
That's good.
So. Oh, go ahead, James.
No, I was going to say from the main categories that I would say that I saw, it was AR and VR, EV for business, meaning you had Hyundai there, you had Caterpillar there, you had a lot of the big agricultural companies doing more autonomous vehicles. So I'm going to say EV for business, televisions, transparent televisions, OLED TVs, 90 to 120 plus inch TVs, just crazy, right? 8K upsampling, all those types of things, and AI and robotics. Those were the key focuses that I saw at this particular year. A handful of this technology may not even be available anytime soon or ever, but anything that's coming out is going to be around the middle of the year, Q2 timeframe, for folks that actually had products that they said that we're going to announce. So nothing's really available yet of this brand new technology, but come March, April, May, that's when you'll start seeing again these bigger TVs, these transparent television, these connected devices within the home and the smart home. So, Tallboy, talk.
Because y'all's oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, man.
No, go ahead.
Well, I have a question because it's for both of y'all. Like, has going to this changed your perspective about anything from EVs to business or even like AI? Like, coming to this event, do you now look at these technologies differently at all?
Oh, well, I'll let you go first.
For me, no, because I was already ready for AI and I was ready to receive AI. So there's nothing out here that's any different than what I saw. Now, I wanted to share with you guys because you guys, and I think we all should probably get into this. Anybody that's watching, there's a product out. Once again, James is there looking at the concepts and the future. You know, those are the things that were like unbelievable things that I would love to say I would like to have. Whereas Tallboy, when I go in, I'm looking more for the economical product, something that you can have right now or you can have before the end of the year. And there are a couple of products that say these are practical use cases for me, whether it's for the kid, it's for, the husband, the wife, or just for the family. And so there was a product out there that I think we all should have. I don't know, James, if you saw it or not, but it was Claude. It was a device and it will record, transcribe, and summarize your conversation. And I think it would do up to 30 hours in one single setting or whatever. But you literally we could be recording this whole conversation and you can be out in the field. You can be at the doctor's office. You can be talking to your kid's teacher or whatever the case may be. It records it. It transcribes it in multiple languages. And it uses the chat GPT. And then at the end, it will mind map the conversation. And so it will literally say, these are all the players that were in the conversation. This is what the body of it. And here's, the outcomes of everything. And it literally just fits right there in your pocket. It can connect to the back of your phone. And so just like how you have your wallet, your business card or your credit card holder on the back of your phone, you can literally just snap it on the back of your phone. So you always have it ready to go. So that was when you're talking about AI. I mean, we already have, sessions and Zoom and Teams that we're already doing that on our computer. But now this is on the go. So, I mean, I'm looking at all the things that it can do, and then it can do it in multiple languages. So that really stood out for me. And I thought that anybody that's watching this show, especially if you're in any type of technology, when this releases, I think you guys will be very interested in getting one of these units here. For the pet lovers, I'm not a pet guy.
Lord, but this man is over here doing QVC. Go do your
I'm
thing.
I'm a pitch man. That's what I am.
You streaming to Amazon?
Let
me put you full screen with your pet stuff.
For the people, they have for the pet lovers. I'm not a cat person, so I didn't touch the cat stuff. But they had the S1 Pro, the P1 Pro, and the P0 Pro, which is the dog grooming kit. But now they didn't came out with a Mikasa blow dryer. So you dog get in the water, you can literally blow dry the dog. So he getting better technology than the women blow drying their hair. So I mean, I'm just saying, like, it had 3 different speeds, and I mean, and when I put my hand up against the blow dryer, I'm like, man, this thing is hot. So I mean, she was showing, and it was all under $100. So all the products that I'm talking about were no more than $200 or $300 until you got into the robotic machines of the vacuum cleaners and the lawnmowers. So, and James knows about the lawnmower and the pool cleaners that are robotic. So I mean, these are all cool products.
Yeah, they'll be on their way next week.
Yeah, I know. I'm waiting.
That's gonna end
But
up in the
even
beauty stores.
but even in the robotic vacuum cleaner, I met one company, Narwhal, where it was tangle-free hair. So a lot of the robot vacuum cleaners, your hair gets stuck. This was the only robotic vacuum cleaner that will pick up the hair, whether it's dog hair or human hair, and be tangle-free. And I'm like, that's different technology, and it was all under $500. So I mean, I don't know what you paid for your Jordan and your what's the other one's name? The other vacuum cleaner?
Jordan and Isaiah. Isaiah's upstairs and Jordan's downstairs. Don't ask me the price, because again, I'm in a relationship with these organizations. And
so but not taking anything away from those. It's just saying that I don't know what you paid for or how you got your product, but now you're looking at, now you can pick up hair as you're, instead of picking up the vacuum cleaner, now you got to pull it out. It does all of it for you, and it mops and vacuums. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then the last one I think that was really not economical, but really case worthy. These create digital automations with single tap. So, you may have lost your bag or lost your wallet. Well, I wouldn't say wallet, but you lost something. They had these little things where you can tap. So you tap with NFC enabled, tap with the NFC enabled smartphone to unlock your tab. So let's just say you're at a church and you say, I don't know how to give, or how can I give? They can just tap on their NFC and their Venmo and all that stuff. PayPal will come up. But if you lost your computer bag or you lost your, camera bag, you can have this here. They tap on the NFC. If you want barbershop or a beauty salon, or somebody that's providing a service, they had different automation type of tap. So this is the type of technology that it's more practical for people that can use for everyday use cases, and that was kind of like where the focus was for me. So even though I was like, I need to go over there and look at this new technology, but I was like, when I come back and talk to it to my audience about it, are they going to be really ready for it? It's like, yeah, I hear about it and it's cool, but this is something that you can have in your hand. This groomer automation, the Claude, these are things that you can have in your hand by the end of the year.
True. And let me do a quick plug for Opus Clip, because you notice I put you on.
Oh, he was rocking Opus Clips hard.
I was wearing the company, but you see when I put you full screen. So shouts out to Opus Clip. I'm gonna use that platform to cut up generative AI and micro content for you to be able to share your segment just now about new consumer technology that was announced at CES. Boom. There we go.
Yeah, he's trying to get me a check, y'all. He's trying to get me a check.
Legendary software.
I'm gonna keep these.
Opus Clips, y'all are the MVPs, y'all. Y'all have no idea.
My life has changed since using Opus Clips.
No, but that's what's up though, right? And again, 12, 13 years respectively going to this event. It's tough to do alone. It's tough to do with a team even, right? Because there's so much ground and so much content to cover. I think each year we get smarter in terms of how to cover it. So I know I put out a note to my team. I said, I'm going to bring y'all back next year, because I've already got the focus and already got the plan, but it's going to be a little bit more strategic moving forward to how to tackle such a large event, because it gets larger each time. They said they estimated 130 or so thousand people. I think the number was bigger, because I literally ran into everybody. Unfortunately, everybody was bumping into each other. And the media line, since it's only open to media and industry insiders, the people that were there just for the media days was crazy.
It was 10,000 by itself on one day. Right. I remember they ran out of lunch just for the media members. So lunch starts at 11:30. By 12:30, there was no more lunch boxes for nobody. And they were
I was texting you when I was standing in that line. So yeah, it's insane.
You better come get this lunch, or else you're gonna be out there paying $15 for 3 chicken fingers and fries. And my guy Revis paid $4.88 for a bottle of water. They were laughing at me because I said after Unveiled, I got to go to Walmart. I'm going to get me some.
I wasn't laughing.
Gatorade.
No, your guys was laughing. I wasn't laughing.
My
I knew
people were
I knew
laughing.
the joint.
And I'm like, look, I'm going to the store. I'm going to get this Gatorade. I'm going to have me some snacks because while we walking, y'all going to get hungry. And y'all looking at me like, man, they want $5 for a bottle of water. Who paying $5 for a 20-ounce bottle of Aquafina? Not I know it's Coca-Cola and I love the Coke brand, but we ain't doing that. Not no $4.88 for a bottle of water. So no, we're gonna go over here to Walmart. We're gonna go get this case of Gatorade, and we're gonna put a couple of them in our bags, and we're gonna keep it moving. And as we ready to drink, we drink accordingly. But I will say this in respect to James, and I'm gonna say this is probably as positive as I know how. You have to have a team of people that are passionate about tech. Everybody says that they want to be there for tech, but once they get out there, they're going to get overwhelmed, number one. And two, there's a lot of walking, and that there's no amount of conversation that I'm telling you and James can share with you or anybody else can share with you until you get there. You have to be ready and you have to be prepared for that endurance of that walk, that journey, the standing in the lines, getting on the buses, moving from one room or the other. Excuse me. You have to be ready for that. So I think, the biggest thing is when James gets his team, I bring my team out. You have to make sure that everybody is in alignment to say, even though we're here to do this tech, we're here to work, but then also have fun, but then you have to be ready to go. So I think that anybody that comes to CES, look at it as an opportunity to network, look at it as a way to build, and then you just grow from there. But just be ready to know that, yes, it's fun, but it also is, a little bit of work that's involved as well.
Yeah, that's good behind the scenes, right? Because a lot of times you'll see everyone only posts the good stuff. Everyone only posts the parties. Everyone only posts the free product that they got. And, I got 2 extra suit bags of gear. And like I said, I got stuff still coming. But it's the grind and it's the effort to get the content out to the community that I think really matters. We saw all the cool things. A lot of it's going to trickle out. I've started putting out a lot of my content already on Instagram and on TikTok. And on my YouTube channel as shorts. That's primarily where I'm going to push all of my content. So make sure you check that out. Subscribe if you haven't. Tallboy, I know you're going to be talking about a lot of the content, a lot of the gear that you acquired during the Lab Tech show on Wednesday nights. Was it 8 p.m. Eastern time?
Yeah, that's correct. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. And and that's where we're going to be going each week until the content is officially done. And then I'll be having the regular interviews posted onto the YouTube channel as well as the content is being created.
All right. I'm going to answer this question right here from Awesome Wood Thing. Shouts out to Matt. And then we're going to go into the next content. He's asking, does being 7 foot 4 inches tall provide benefits in navigating CES? I'm going to answer this question for the man. Because I've rocked with him for a couple of years while folks would just look up and be like, hey, who are you? Who'd you play for? What are you doing here? And I think Todd was tired of answering that question, right? And honestly, even though that's his name, he would prefer to focus on the journey of being a journalist and being a content creator and a digital nomad. I'm going to call you a digital nomad today.
But yeah, I travel.
I that's been an opener though for you though, right? Again, just you being you, so you standing out. But I could tell that over the years that you've gotten tired of actually that being the one sole thing that people come and holler at you about.
Here's the funny thing. I was walking into Central Hall the second time on Thursday, and Jaja Pachulia walks in. People trying to take pictures with him. Jaja and I know each other because he used to give me tickets because I used to play down in Uruguay. And he sees me. It's been years since we've seen each other. We're the same height. And hey, Jaja, how you doing? And it's like, I didn't ask for no picture. What are you looking for? What I just got here. Where's the sports stuff? Oh, it's over at the Venetian. Make sure you stop over there because that's where all the sports tech is. And I just went on, hey man, you have a good day. That was it. It was nothing about your height, nothing about, hey, we were just having a regular conversation as human beings. And the next thing you know, I'm over there doing an interview with Shocks. And he's like, look at this guy. He's got a microphone in his hand, and he stayed and watched a few minutes of me doing my interview. And then he went on about his journey. So being tall, it gets the attention. You know, my voice, but my personality, you know, I'm very direct. My voice carries, and I know what it is that I'm looking for. So I command the attention, if that makes sense. So it has nothing to do. The height gets your attention, but then the voice and the conversation piece of, man, this man knows what he's talking about. Yeah, he's tall. Yeah, so it's like the Asian people, they're really freaking out over, oh my God, he's so tall. Oh my God, oh my God. But then once they get to know me, they have a great time with me. Then they're like, oh, he's really a cool guy. So he's a gentle giant. So until you cross that line. But, you know, for the most part, you know, gentle giant. And my thing
Still a
is,
giant.
As long as he got some food in him, he gentle. As long as he got some food around him.
This guy right here. But yeah, that's CES in a nutshell. And I think that, you know, going there, I am probably the tallest person that's there. Majority of the years, I saw somebody that was tall. He may have been taller than me, but I didn't walk over there to do the tall thing with him because, dude, I already know how you feel. Let's just keep it moving. So
you didn't walk over there to do the tall thing. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Awesome.
Let me ask you this question, right quick. You bring up a great point, Corey. When I look at the Shaquille O'Neal that we see today compared to 20, 25 years ago, it seems like him being tall provides him the open door to walk through and to be able to connect with people, whether if it's an icy hot, whether if it's a car insure commercial. It seems to be the opening for him. And again, watching on television. But is that just?
No, it's the personality, because it's the Dion. He got the personality like a Dion. You know, when you see people who are doing things, they have personality. So it's not necessarily the height. The height will probably get their attention, but it's the personality. He's always smiling. He's always giving. He's always, you know, he's calm. It's not like he's coming across angry like a Kenyon Martin. You know, he's not coming across like he's, you know, going to hurt somebody like Draymond Green. You know, he doesn't look scary. He looks friendly. He's approachable. Kids love him, you know. And is that not what Dion did, you know, with the college football industry? It was like, hey, I'm going to give you, he's quick witty. He had the endorsements are going to roll in for Dion because what? He knows how to say it in a way to catch your attention. Shaq knows how to say, okay, I'm tall, but then I'm also approachable, but I can, you know, and I can be your pitch man for this product. And he's talking about products that he uses and he utilizes. So just like you just saw me bring these products up on to, you know, to this platform on Technologies, it's the same thing as what Shaq is doing. So, I mean, I just took a page out of his book and just said, people like to be around friendly people. If you can make them laugh, if you make them feel good, if you make them feel comfortable, they're going to want to do business with you. But if you look scary, you look like you're that, you know, that guy that look like I don't want to approach him because he doesn't look approachable. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. So I mean, that's just what it is. Man, you went deep into the archives.
Hey, come on now. I keep the receipts. I keep receipts. So here we go, talking about Shaq. And why am I right in between these twin towers right here? You know, I'm 6 foot, and then these guys are making me look like I'm just a little child. But there we go. We was rocking with Shaq about 3-4 years ago.
And that picture there has gotten me multiple interviews with Dr. Shaq. That interview there has allowed me to be his stand-in for what women want and what men want, and also for Uncle Drew, just based off of that picture right there.
Okay.
So you can go watch the movie, so check the credits, and you'll see Corey Tallboy.
He was in the credits. I stayed to the very end to make sure. I'm looking for Corey Tallboy Sands. I'm looking in the credits, and you was in there. That was all good.
You got an IMDb page?
No, I don't know how to do all that, man. I was just a stand-in, brother. Hey. Just a stand-in. Just a stand. I didn't have no acting role. They just needed a stand-in version. So my name is in the credits. I can go take care of it from there.
You are in the credits. Mr. Gaynor, talk to us a little bit about, because you did a technology event as well this week, and again, you know, it was different city, different state, but I think it matches with what Tallboy and I were at CES for, right? Kind of cultural representation, cultural involvement as it relates to technology. Talk to us a little bit about that event that you went to in Atlanta.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just a perfect pairing. It's cool how all this happened. So when I think about this event, 2024 State of Atlanta Black Ecosystem Summit, I think about like when Andre 3000 said the South has something to say. You know, Atlanta,
Hmm.
Black culture, we've influenced culture for eons and eons and eons. And this conversation was about our influence on tech, our past, our present, and our future. I was there. I was asked to come through from or by Savonzo Dondrico with Tech in Black and White to
Hmm.
kind of create some content there, and it was really amazing, an amazing community. I went once in 2019. The pandemic kind of put an end to this, but the founder of Goody Nation, Joey Womack's, a name that everyone in startup and tech should know, he brought this back just because he just sees like there's still a gap, there's still a lot of work for us to do. So he created this event at the Gathering Spot, one of the first events since they kind of took back control or ownership over the Gathering Spot. They had people from all these different realms of tech come together, all these Black people come together, leaders in tech, whether they're startups, venture capitalists, practitioners, professionals, activists, they're all here to share about what they're doing, the problems that they see, what they're doing for to create, deliver, or find a solution to the representation issue. And I was hearing numbers like we all know, there's representation issues all across everything. We always talk about it in regards to film and TV, but the tech space is no different. I was hearing numbers like less than 10%. It was really crazy. And the panel in particular that I focused in on and I was listening to and everything was the state of Atlanta's Black K through 12 and
Hmm.
college. They were talking about computer science. They're talking about the issue of students not even really being all that interested in tech, partly because one, things like classes like computer science isn't a requirement or looked at as importantly as English. But we all know computer literature, especially hearing everything that y'all just witnessed at the CES. Like this stuff is the future, but I'm talking about y'all talking about stuff that I've seen on Star Wars that could become a thing in a few years. So this was a really dope conversation because it was like, how can we continue to be in this industry? How can we make sure our next generation is just as interested and passionate about tech as they may be as becoming a rapper or a podcaster even. So got to speak to some amazing people. One person in particular I got an interview with is Andrea P. Miller. She works in the school system. And I asked her a question about what we need to do to support the youth in getting into tech. And amazing answer, recorded it all. I got to meet the founder of Atlanta Influences Everything, a very huge brand in Atlanta. And was talking to him about how creatives and tech professionals could come together, the similarities and difference, how to fill that gap. And I just left feeling very excited about our community's presence in the tech world, even though there's still a huge uphill battle. There's just people who aren't letting that sway them. They're still going hard to make sure that not only that they're a part of the future, that there's past there. I spoke to somebody who developed this app for UPS
Hmm.
years ago and it made them millions, and she was just talking about like the difference between being a professional in tech versus being a startup owner in tech and what it looks like when it comes to how that revenue is split. So very fascinating, a lot of fascinating conversation. I didn't even get a chance to hear them all, but man, this definitely something to pay attention to.
So
Can
your
we
thought.
go ahead? Go
I
ahead,
was just
Jay.
gonna say. So your thoughts. Was there any takeaways for next steps? Right. So it's always great to have a panel. It's always great to Monday morning quarterback and sit in a room and say this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, that kind of thing. But did you gather anything from that session of kind of what next steps
Oh
that
yeah.
you can do? Right. Not just right. Kind of at that
hmm
micro level instead of just at the macro level. Just curious.
So, oh, absolutely. And I missed some of these. So I was creating content with a few other people, kind of representing tech and black and white. So there's definitely going to be more of those answers coming. What was cool about this event, it was like we already know about some of these issues, so they kind of brought some of them to light. But it was all solution conversations.
Mm.
One thing that they're looking to solve, like I said, is the getting the next generation into tech. And there's a bill that's being considered right now that's going to make computer science a requirement for graduation. And that's going to make it so that, just as people need to pass English to graduate, they're also going to have to pass computer science. And that's going to prep people for to be able to be involved in this next era that we're living in. And for me personally, I felt empowered to look for a way to continue to document what's happening in tech, what opportunities are there in tech, and translating that to everybody. Something I started was the Working While Black show. It's all around highlighting the nuances of working while Black, the people who are in these professional environments, how they got there, creating this community of support. I just started a series called Career Paths for Podcasters to highlight just what's happening in the podcast industries and the opportunities there. So now I'm actually going to do something around career paths in tech. And my sole goal with that one is to kind of talk about what's happening there and just show how people could get into it, but really look into being a part of the solution there, like creating or supporting the people who are developing accelerators for high school students. There are a few actually programs that are happening, some happening this month actually. Things that we could invest in, well, not invest in, but donate to, that will create scholarships for Black youth to start learning about coding, software development, all sorts of things. So now this is a very solution heavy panel. People here are doing some amazing things. And that's just on the education side. There's a whole other panels about startups. Like everyone there was either working in tech, has some type of startup, or was interested in what's going on in the ecosystem. So yeah, you're going to see a lot of you're gonna see a lot more from this. This was like a really great period piece almost, and the names that you saw on that list of panels, those are names of people to follow because they're not just doing the work for a paycheck. It's not just about finding wealth. It's truly about creating a positive impact, really positively disrupting the tech world.
Love it.
So I don't want to mess up with anything that Walter just said. I'm not trying to
mess him up. Don't mess it up.
But I want to have this conversation because because I'm looking at it like this. What day was this on?
Thursday, January 10th, 11th.
Yeah, January 11th.
11th.
I'm not trying to be funny, but just hear me out. If the whole world is in Las Vegas during this time, why are you not over there? Where instead of being in Atlanta and building and making those relationships there to then now have a panel the following week, so then now we can say we have solutions. You're saying that there's no representation. Well, then you have to go in there and kick the door down. That's, considering the weekend that we're in.
Are you talking to Walter or are you talking to the
No.
The folks that started that other conference, that other session?
Right. They started. So it's not, Walter just went to go have a good time and learn and gather some information. So no knock to Walter. He just went for him to better himself. But my thing is, if you turned on the news in Las Vegas, all you heard was CES. 130,000 people are coming from all over the world, and they're descending just like as if it was the Super Bowl. So why are we having a conversation on the same week saying, how do we get into these conversations where everybody is going to be in Las Vegas? If you're a football fan, you know that the college football game or championship game is on Monday. So the whole world descends. Super Bowl, everybody descends in February. NBA All-Star Weekend, we all descend. So why is it that as we're saying, how do we get in those rooms? The room was on Thursday in Las Vegas. And I live in Atlanta. I know some of those people that are on that panel. But I'm just saying, why are you not there? Because there was some that were, James, he's saying, hey, we're going to have this conversation and I'm going to meet company A, B, C, D, all the way to Z. And Tallboy is going to go 1 through 100. So why are we not there saying, you know what, how can we be in those rooms? Because deals are being made on this week. Am I right, James? Did you not make a couple of deals?
No, that's true. And that's an interesting point, right? Again, if you...
I don't want to come across in my delivery as if it's an attack, because I'm not knocking what they're doing.
That's a good
I'm
question, though. Yeah.
But
So my
you're
thing
right,
is-
right? When you think about it, the world kind of stops for that particular 4 or 5 days as it relates to the business of technology, right? Everything is in Vegas, and anything else is just kind of swept under the rug. It's on the
You ain't
5th page
talking
of
about
Google.
nothing.
It's not even at the first part of the news broadcast, things of that. And if you want to be in the room with the Sonys and the Samsungs and the Panasonics and whomever, anyone that's out there doing anything that's for today and tomorrow as it relates to technology, you might want to get a room in Vegas. You might want to reserve a dinner. You might want to have a networking event, some type of collaboration, networking type of thing. That's where it's at. Everything else gets swept under the rug. Not saying that it's not important. And I know you got value from the session because you said you did panelists and things like that. Not everyone can afford to go to CES, and not everyone can even get in the door at CES. It's industry analysts and it's media personnel only. But you still can reserve a room at MGM for 3 or 4 hours, have a networking event like Withings did, right? They took us all to this fancy restaurant and they gave us a demonstration about wearable health technology, gave us their pitch about today and moving into the future. You can do that kind of thing and still be in the midst. You don't always have to go in. You don't always have to go in the synagogue, but let's just be in the midst. Okay.
I've seen multiple companies. What James just said it's too expensive to be able to have a booth here. I may not know anybody on the panel here, but I could be having a conversation with somebody in the hotel, and then, hey, can I invite you over here? There's an Eventbrite, and you just say CES party, after party, CES for Black Collective, CES for African American, blah, 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 blah. That might capture somebody's attention, not only from Atlanta, but then it's also capturing the attention from somebody in California, New York, or Texas, or wherever it may be. And now you can start to have those conversations. And now somebody that has a badge say, hey, let me get your contact. Let me make this connection over here with you, because all you heard on the news was, this is the world's largest conference. It's over 130,000 people here. You're telling me out of 130,000 people, you can't get 5 people to show up in a room? Because the few African Americans that we did see, we were stop. Hey, we're gonna stop. Let me get your contact information.
We're still in the minority for sure.
Yeah. And unfortunately, what you just said, Walter, was true. It's only a 0.2% or 0.5%. I know what Dawn Dixon goes through as a not as a startup. She is. If you don't know who Dawn Dixon is and you're watching this show, y'all need to go Google that lady.
Yeah.
Straight up. If you don't know who Isaac Hayes III is, you need to go Google that man and see what he's doing. But at the end of the day,
those folks,
you need to go. No, I don't think that they were there this year. Okay. I don't think that they were there. But what I'm saying is, you need to be at this event where James and I were at. And I live in Atlanta, so this is no knock to anybody who did not make it. But what I was saying about James, or what I was saying in regards to what you were saying, we need to have, if you're saying representation matters, well, all the representation is over there. So we need to find a way to say 2025, how do we prepare early to have this conversation where we can sit down with a Google, how we can sit down with an LG, a Hisense, a TCL. And I think that this is where the problem comes in. We're always trying to go for the bigger companies, but Hisense TVs ain't no different from, well, we know that there's a difference, but Hisense TVs ain't no different from Samsung. They're a TV, right? So if you don't want to do business with Hisense, with LG or Samsung, go do business with Hisense. Maybe we can find a way to say we can make tech cool. There's a company here in Atlanta called J5 Create. They're not a Black-owned company, but they would love to have those opportunities and have those conversations in the educational sector. And I believe their products would make sense for us in the school district. So, it's just a matter, they don't even know that you exist. So I think
it's crazy you mentioned J5 Create, because you think about it, a few years ago, they're a perfect example. They didn't have a large presence at CES. They only had a suite at one, probably the Venetian or something, right? They invited us up there, and they had all their gear out there, and were given product demonstrations and ability to talk to the CEO and a lot of the engineers. This year, shouts out to J5 Create. They were right next to LG with a nice medium-sized booth. And they had a ton of attraction. They had a ton of people coming in. So again, just that elevation. So I guess it was kind of a setup for me asking you that question, Walter, because what can we do? What can you do? That kind of thing. Talk to those folks that set up that event and say, man, next year, it may not be the right week to do this particular event. Let's instead get everyone group rate tickets to Vegas and let's do something in Vegas and let's find maybe even an offsite facility where we can have this conversation, because that's where the folks are having the conversation, and that's where the folks that actually write the checks and actually make the decisions, not just the tactical folks, but the strategic folks.
So in my delivery and what I just said, I'm not trying to attack the event organizers. Let me be clear. I'm not trying to attack the conversation. I'm just saying, let's have a serious conversation, because if you're saying that you want to be in this space,
okay?
yeah, you're right. Let's be clear. You're right. Say it again. Be clear. Let's have this conversation in 2025 in Vegas. And then at the end of the month, let's all come back together and say we were able to partner with company A through Z, or 1 through 100. And then now we found some like-minded individuals that were bringing some cool tech, because there was an African-American lady who's a doctor called Kids in Motion. I don't know if you can pull it up, James, but she was an African-American lady. And she said, hey, we have some cool tech for kids that have Down syndrome, that may have cerebral palsy, or may have gotten into an accident. And you know what? I'm bringing this technology here. And she put her coins together. And when she put her coins together, she said, I'm going to get me a booth at CES. I'm pretty sure we could have had that conversation with her on that panel. But unfortunately, it's in Atlanta, but it could have been another week, but she knew that the tech, and I'm going to have this conversation in Las Vegas. I don't know who's walking by that might be interested. She saw what CES could do. We don't know what that may be. That conversation may be for her for the end of the year. That's what we need to do, as opposed to saying, let's have a conversation and let's kind of gripe about it a little bit, say that we're doing the work. No, let's actually go do the work. Because Tallboy's been going to CES for 13 years. James been going for 12, and whoever else has been going. So we're out there having those conversations with those companies, instead of saying, how do we get in the room? That's how you get in the room. Period.
Walter, let me ask you this question. But for the exception of the pandemic, how long had this organization been having this event prior, for the exception of
I want to say 2017 was probably the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was just trying to get an understanding in terms of, like you said, the pandemic kind of put a stop on it. They start restarting it over. And so this is not like something brand new just in the last 2-3 years. But if they've been around since 2017, and from what James and Corey is saying about CES, because it's interesting, I heard it on the local news myself, and then when I saw your you on the line on YouTube, it was like, okay, I got to pay attention to this. My local news, which is thousands of miles away from where you guys are at, and here Corey's online. I'm like, okay, plus they told me they were going to be there. Let me pay attention to it. Versus no one on the local news mentioned this event and again, not trying to I applaud them. But it sounds like it was just as important for them to be known too, because I know individuals who kind of want to do things to help for kids. I have a nephew who created a graphics design game called Design Eye that he's trying to get up and running. And it sounds like that's something that would have been a good platform for him to be able to network, but you send them both to Las Vegas. I think it maximizes their opportunity, other than just to say we want to have it in Atlanta, I guess.
And I'm not saying not have it in Atlanta. I'm just saying go to where the tech is, get the information, and then come back and then have the panel. That's all I'm saying.
Yes,
don't do it on the same week as wherever all the tech conversations are over here, but then y'all want to do your own thing and say, how do we get in this room? To get in the room, let's go over there, let's go build, because now you got to wait another year to get these folks, because now you got to get on the calendar. Well, James and I are already on people's calendar. So that's all I'm saying.
I think that's a really
nothing else anymore, huh?
I think that's a really good opportunity for 2025. I think I know with this specific event, and I think what you're saying actually supports, like it would be really dope, because you could bring all of those conversations to the event. This event, I know, as far as like why I was in Atlanta, is because it was a way for people who are in Atlanta to come together. It was more of a localized effort. So I do think next year it'll be a really dope opportunity to make sure there is a presence there with the people who are behind it, who are organizing it, and then coming back like to have the same event and then also bring like, okay, yeah, this is also some of the things going on, because these are all this is a true local community gathering kind of support system that was happening.
Right. And then, and again, though it may not be nationally televised, the simple fact, because of my connection with James and Corey last week and being on this show and hearing the local news mention it, my platform of choice was YouTube. So when 2025 comes and you're there in Las Vegas, all your plane tickets paid for, your team paid for, and you are with those individuals, and then you go live, YouTube is now going to give you the platform to be able to say, hey, let me share.
Cat Williams. Yep.
Well, I didn't say that, but
no, I'm saying they have the platform because if you type up CES, I'm pretty sure you didn't just see my content only. You saw other content of CES, right?
No, I didn't. It specifically because you guys had mentioned it, and because my local news 12 mentioned it. Okay. And then later in that day, I'm on doing my thing from a content creation, and boom, you pop up. I was like, wait a minute, that's the same thing they said. I clicked on. It was a no-brainer. I need to pay attention to this.
And we were giving it to you from an African-American perspective, but then you may see CNET, The Verge, TechCrunch. They're all giving you their top 25 products, their top 5 products. And then you go on to Instagram and TikTok, and they're saying, hey, this is a cool product. We're at their booth right now, and this is what it does. And they'll give you that short or they'll give you that reel. And then it's like, okay, they have a larger platform than us because they're a national or a global publication. So of course they're going to get, they're going to get more views. But when we spoke on it, or when James and I spoke on it, our audience was like, okay, we heard about it. And just like in marketing, you got to hear it 3 or 4 times. You got to hear it 4 times before you finally pay attention to it. So you heard it from us. You heard it on the news. Okay, you valued what we had to say, and then you saw us live. Oh, man, this is some cool technology over here. Oh, they really... Oh, it's the large. Yeah. Then you turn on CNN and it's like, oh, well, what's really going on over here? And then, I don't know how much of the facility that they showed you guys on, the snippets, because you're only going to get a 30-second to a minute and a half soundbite. But, we're actually giving you more in-depth content of what's actually happening, of what's out there. So I think that's really what it is. So once again, all these publications, that's where CES is. This is how you build those relationships with company A, B, or C, or with those media partners and say, how can we partner to get our word out? And I think that's just, unfortunately, we have to have, conversations and hold people, like I said, this is the year of accountability.
Right.
You got to hold them accountable. Like, I'm not knocking what you did. I think it's great efforts, but how could we have strategized to make this a little bit better?
Yeah. And here's that, just want to reiterate, here's that keyboard that Corey's talking about for, it's BlackBerry had a booth, and I doubled back when I saw it. I said, I thought they were dead. But BlackBerry had a booth, but then here was this Clicks Creator keyboard that I saw. It's very interesting, and I'm going to get one just because I'm going to get one to test it out, but that really...
I got an interview. I got an interview with the CEO. Can I play it? Or you
can't play it. You can play it on your show, but I'm gonna bring this plane in. Yeah, I'm gonna bring this plane in real quick though. But I'm gonna say 2 things. One that actually ties into what Tallboy was just saying. You notice that, so I'm out here on Digital Trends right now, and their top takeaways from CES are in alignment with what we just said. But you do notice that theirs is more textual based. So it's the blog posts, it's their reporters and their writing about content. As you saw, what I started posting last night, we are actually out there on the floor doing the live interviews, actually walking around the product, rocking around the gear, and giving you the video piece, because I think we really are a video-centric world. And there were a lot of sessions in the ARIA, in the content creator pass, saying that do not sleep on TikTok. Don't sleep on video. Not don't sleep on mobile delivery and don't sleep on YouTube. Specifically, they were saying don't sleep on TikTok. Because again, just this new generation, 30, 60, 90-second attention span, that's where folks are. That's where so for you creators out here, so break this plane in real quick. Pay attention to seeing how you can integrate TikTok into your content delivery strategy. Because man, they are out there looking, and already put some content out there 24 hours ago and already getting some positive engagement and some positive emails from folks saying that they like what they saw. It's real funny as well too, just to see how Google is tracking me. Y'all see where I go a lot when I do my searches. They got my AppSumo and they got my Best Buy. Because I already started looking at the 100-inch TV, so that they are see. I got to go into incognito mode when I start searching. So
right.
No, but I mean, but everything. What up, Kai?
What's going on? What's going on?
But no. I mean, I think what he just said. Everything we've talked about these products, and you saw me as the pitch man showing you all these products, and then now you see one of the products that I said, and I opened up with clicks, and this is what Digital Trends and some of the other major corporations or publications. That's what they're speaking on, right? So we're all in alignment. There's so much tech out there. You got to think how many companies would you say, James, was out there?
Oh, I can't count that high. I can't, because
would
it's global.
Would you say it was 10,000? Would you say 50,000? Would you say it was 200,000 products? Like, I mean, just in a ballpark area. I'm not saying how many direct, but just on a guesstimation. How many products do you think was probably at CES?
Products within, individual products probably within 100,000, right? Because I'm looking at the stats right here. It says there were over 4,000 exhibitors themselves, just exhibitors, 4,000 exhibitors. So, and everyone had multiple bits of technology. Again, you think of Samsung, they practically had a city block. You think of somebody like an LG who again have everything from TVs, washers, dryers, outside technology, inside. So everyone's got multiple things. So over 100,000 individual pieces of new technology, and some of it again is going to resonate. Some of it's going to hit the marketplace. Probably 10% is not. It's just prototypes. A handful of it coming from the international side. So you had India there, you had France, you had Korea, you had China, you had a lot of places that may not be able to get their gear into the United States in and of itself as well, right? Because of tariff and because of legalities on that side. So we can just look at it, see it, touch it, but we're not going to be able to buy it. But it's interesting. So we're going to continue to push out content. Keep an eye on my channel. Keep an eye on Tallboy's channel, and then all of the other major networks that you watch as well. But as far as the main topics, it was AI, it was robotics, it was televisions, it was EV for business, and it was AR and VR. So those are really everything wrapped around that. Let's bring this plane home, man. So, Mr. Strong, talk to us real quick about what you're going to be doing for this coming week as it relates to business and technology for your community.
This coming week, just getting into some how-to and tutorials on just being able to be more familiarized with live streaming software, looking an in-depth look at StreamYard, an in-depth at OBS Studios, an in-depth look at Ecamm. So as beginners look to start live streaming and creating content, to be able to look at those different platforms and say which one really fits what I'm looking to do, and having a good foundation on whatever platform that they want to use, providing them the service that they can be able to do that. And other than that, I got to take my daughter up to Syracuse.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. We can have another conversation about these college coaches too. That deviate. We won't go into that right now.
No,
WG2, talk to us about it. What you got going on for this coming up week?
Man, heavy in the studio, content lab, documenting the journey of working while Black, what it is, what it means, releasing it. So the podcast being released, videos being released on the YouTube channel, sharing what I saw at the state of Atlanta Black Tech, but then also a lot of conversations I've been having with different people from all over the world. Actually, the other day I interviewed someone in the UK about working while Black in the UK and what that's like and why they're looking at Black professionals in Atlanta to kind of make the changes that are needed. So a lot of content coming, a lot of conversations. I'm in Adobe Premiere editing. I'm in Opus Clips finding the great social media bites. And yeah, I'm ready to flood the internet streets. So this is going to be a busy week for me.
I love it. And I'll give some shouts out because I know you gave him his flowers earlier. Shouts out to our colleague, Mr. Lloyd George.
Yes.
Out here doing some very similar things. Follow him as well. I'm going to put everyone's links in the description so you guys can check out him. But another colleague of ours out here in these streets,
just on
Lloyd
the show.
George. Is that right? Boom. I need that link.
Just on the show.
Okay.
Oh man, his editing is on another level too.
Yeah, he's
Y'all
bad,
check it out.
I've reached out to him, and just the way that he syncs his camera angles is very conscious, and it's very pleasing for the consumer to consume his content. So yeah, man, shouts out to our dude out there, Lloyd George. TBJ. I got to get the right persona here. What it do, man? What you doing this week?
TBJ in the building. Yeah. All right. So we got a lot of editing. We got a lot of work to do. And I told you, TBJ gonna have to just go do some R&R because there was a lot of walking. So get some massages and editing and posting and all that other good stuff. But I mean, we're here and we're here to talk tech and we're gonna have some fun. And hopefully you guys will tap in on Wednesday. And we're gonna be live at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And I will be in the building with TBJ and Tall Boy. Hopefully y'all join us.
I got nothing else to say. Y'all
man, you remind me of Penny and the Penny Hardaway and Chris Rock down.
Okay, I got nothing else to say, man. Folks, listen, if you found some value in this, let us know. If you did not find value, let us know as well. Send us some messages, send us some texts. Let us know if there are any particular topics that you want to cover. I like what Walter Strong was saying about actually walking through tutorials of helping people, because that's one of the mindsets that I'm going to be doing working sessions, Pomodoro sessions, essentially, where I just go live for an hour or something and just work through something within my workflow and allow folks to interject. So I like that mentality. But let's do it, man. Y'all be good this week, and we will catch you next week for the Technologist Forum.